Meghan Markle in Paris.
Now let's have a look at Meghan Markle being weird and inauthentic.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Well, you know I'm Sussex now.
The white, on white Messiah gown. Or some people call it the toilet paper gown.
It all began like something out of a glamorous fairy tale, or maybe a social climbing nightmare. Meghan Markle, the Duchess who once turned the royal world upside down, decided she wanted something exclusive, something even the most elite couldn't casually flaunt. A custom Hermès Birkin, but not just any Birkin. Meghan envisioned a one-of-one masterpiece, ethically sourced leather, gold-plated hardware, and a tiny engraved quote from one of her own speeches. It was meant to represent her influence, her philanthropy, her new era. The bag was to arrive before an upcoming Montecito charity gala, the perfect re-entry into the rarefied air of elite fashion. Her team sent the request straight to Paris, to Hermès headquarters. Now, normally such a favor would have been handled discreetly, whispered among high society insiders, exchanged with a wink. Royals and celebrities had received private commissions before. But this wasn't just a quiet number. It became an international humiliation. Hermès's email reply was polite, painfully polite. The kind of message that cuts deeper because it's written in perfect corporate French grace.
And with the Balenciaga creative director, let's look at this. It's so cringe to watch, isn't it?
Very.
So awkward. But fans are slamming Meghan for this, calling her the Duchess of Hypocrisy.
Madame, Hermès does not accept external creative direction on heritage pieces. Our legacy is defined by the maison, not by collaboration translation. You're not the designer here, darling. But Meghan's team pushed back. Fast. Her senior stylist fired off a reply suggesting the Duchess's concept could modernize Hermès for a new generation. Hours later, her personal assistant chimed in too, insisting Meghan's vision was about aligning luxury with purpose. And that's when Hermès decided they'd had enough. Instead of replying quietly, a senior executive forwarded the entire exchange, scrubbed of names but unmistakably obvious, to a select group of Paris fashion editors. The note framed it as an example of modern entitlement meeting traditional craftsmanship. Cue the whispers.
Another look at it.
Within days, fashion blogs in Paris were buzzing. Anonymous posts hinted that a certain former royal had tried to tell Hermès how to design a Birkin. Then came the 4 words that set the internet on fire. They said no, publicly. Suddenly, the world's most discreet luxury house had humiliated a duchess, and they did it with the precision of a silk-gloved slap.
And they're showing plenty of behind-the-scenes content. Now, let's just take a look at the Duchess strutting to the camera.
By the time Meghan realized what had happened, the whispers had gone global. Because in fashion, silence isn't weakness, it's power. And Hermès had chosen exposure.
And just a reminder, every deleted tweet, fake statement, and PR cover-up takes hours to piece together. If you want to help this channel keep going, hit that join button and become a member. We'll keep exposing what they won't.
Controversy around this brand and an ad that was seen as quite creepy that involved...
The fallout wasn't loud at first. It was whispered, the way high fashion does its damage. Stylists, editors, and PR agents from Paris to Milan were texting the same sentence. Hermès rejected her. It sounded impossible. Hermès never leaked, it didn't gossip, it crafted. Yet here they were, letting the world connect the dots. Soon, tabloids caught the scent. Le Monde de Mode ran a sly headline. Hermès remains faithful to its roots. No names, no confirmations, just a picture of a Montecito sunset. Everyone knew exactly who it was about. Inside Meghan's camp, panic. Sources say she was livid, not just humiliated by the no, but by how they'd done it. It was elegant rejection disguised as principle. They made it sound like she was the one crossing the line, an insider sighed. An emergency PR meeting was called. The message, control the narrative. A statement was drafted, suggesting Meghan had declined a partnership that didn't align with her ethical sourcing values. It was damage control, pure and simple. But before it could even go out, Hermès struck again. Their creative director gave an interview to Le Figaro about celebrity collaborations. His comment, ice cold. Hermès doesn't collaborate, we create. There is a difference pressed on whether they ever made exceptions. He smiled. We've had many requests, some very famous, but when a name outweighs the craftsmanship, we must decline. The fashion world knew exactly what he meant. Within hours, social media translated it for him. Hashtag Hermès rejects Meghan was trending. TikToks, memes, side-by-side shots of Meghan's red carpet looks next to Birkin's captioned, "Not every door opens to a duchess." In Montecito, the tension was thick. Staff were told not to mention her mess, but Meghan, she wasn't done. She saw this as a challenge, not a defeat. Thus began Operation Legacy Reset. The goal, turn rejection into empowerment. Her first move? A filmed charity message where she spoke about impact over labels. But eagle-eyed fans noticed those words exactly echoed a 2019 Hermès quote about humility and luxury. The fashion world howled. Headlines screamed, "Meghan subtly fires back at Hermès." Hermès's response? A single image and a single line. "Luxury is what you don't see." Cold, silent, devastating. But Meghan pressed on. She reached out to ethical designers and sustainable brands, trying to pivot into responsible luxury. But doors closed everywhere. No one wanted to be the rebound after Hermès. Whispers spread that Hermès had quietly instructed branches worldwide to avoid controversial influencer associations. It wasn't an official blacklist, but it may as well have been scripture. By the end of the week, Meghan had become the industry's cautionary tale. One columnist put it bluntly, "When you try to edit a legacy brand, you don't change it. It edits you out." And that's exactly what happened. Stylists ghosted her. PR calls went unanswered. Event planners whispered warnings. Don't risk a Duchess versus Maison headline. But Meghan refused to crumble. "If they think I need them, they're mistaken," she reportedly snapped. "They need me." That defiance became her next obsession. The Montecito Manifesto. The project was called Own It, Meghan's attempt to prove she didn't need the old-fashioned order. She'd wear only independent designers, celebrate female artisans, and preach authentic luxury. But before filming even began, designers backed out. Photographers bailed, citing risk to existing contracts. One wrote in his apology, "We admire your courage, but we can't risk Hermès." Still, Meghan pushed forward. Her foundation posted a teaser, a moody black and white photo of her barefoot, holding a woven clutch captioned, "Luxury without permission." The internet exploded. Fans hailed it as a statement. Critics called it a tantrum in linen. Then, the real bomb dropped. A French journalist leaked everything, the full Hermès email chain, down to Meghan's engraved quote request. The column ended with one dagger line. "A Birkin cannot be earned through insistence, only through patience." Birkingate was born. Late-night hosts joked about the world's most elegant rejection. Hermès didn't have to say a word. They'd already won. Her PR team went into overdrive. They tried burying the scandal, but burying Hermès, one insider quipped, is like trying to smother fire with perfume, else it only smells worse. So Meghan did what she does best. She spoke. She filmed a heartfelt video saying, "Sometimes they say no, not because you're wrong, but because they're afraid of change." But instead of sympathy, the internet turned it into a meme. TikToks mocked the speech, splicing in fake Hermès execs nodding politely as violins played. And then, Paris delivered the killing blow. At the next Hermès runway, Beyoncé, Amal Clooney, and Vogue's Miranda Vale sat front row, each holding a different Birkin. No one mentioned Meghan. They didn't need to. When Meghan saw the photo, she reportedly whispered, "They're sending a message." They were. From that moment, "Don't pull a Meghan" became fashion world slang, a warning to anyone who dared challenge legacy. Still, she wouldn't surrender. She pitched op-eds about women punished for asking, but editors refused. One leaked email said it best. Every time she calls herself the victim, it reminds people of the scandal. It's circular PR and exhausting. Even her team urged silence. But to Meghan, silence felt like defeat. So she made a short film, The Ask, about rejection and resilience. It ended with the line, "Sometimes the door that closes isn't rejection, it's redirection." It was soft, beautiful. And Hermès answered again. Their next campaign showed a craftsman holding a Birkin under sunlight with the caption, "What's asked for is ordinary. What's offered is timeless." The internet gasped. Another silent victory. Months passed. The calls stopped. Even the paparazzi moved on. Then, a surprise invitation. A French luxury summit wanted Meghan to speak on ethical fashion. It wasn't Hermès, but it was France and prestige. Her speech, owning the ask, was calm, reflective. The world tells women to know their place. But what if our place is at the table where decisions are made? Polite applause. Finally, peace. Until a reporter asked the question that reignited everything. "If Hermès called you tomorrow, would you accept?" Meghan smiled. "I think the question is, would they be ready for me this time?" Boom. Headlines exploded. Meghan Markle challenges Hermès again. Hermès replied in a single chilling line, "Hermès is always ready for timelessness." It was artful warfare. At their next runway, a crimson Birkin appeared, embossed with two golden words, "Toujours prête, always ready." The crowd gasped. The message was unmistakable. Meghan saw it on her iPad. "They're mocking me in art form," she whispered. That night she made a vow, no more begging for entry. She'd build her own house. Thus was born Archetype Atelier, her personal luxury brand. Its tagline, "Luxury isn't granted, it's reclaimed." The world went wild. Her accessories sold out in days. Critics called it Meghan's revenge in silk. Then came Hermès's counterpunch, a lawsuit over design similarities. Paper thin but powerful enough to drag her into a PR storm. And as always, Hermès said nothing. Instead, at their next exhibition, The Language of Legacy, they unveiled a mirrored handbag engraved with, "Some things lose their value when they ask to be seen." The crowd gasped. Everyone knew exactly who it was aimed at. Meghan closed her laptop quietly. "Even silence is their weapon," she murmured. Weeks later, Archetype Atelier went dark. No statement, no goodbye, just silence, the kind Hermès had mastered long ago. Because in the end, this was never just about a handbag. It was about legacy. Who defines it, who protects it, and who dares to challenge it. And when the echoes faded, Hermès didn't need to win. They just waited until time made their point for them. Somewhere in Montecito, under the California sun, Meghan Markle finally learned the cruelest truth of all. In a world built on quiet prestige, the loudest voice is the one that never has to speak.